Hello, gorgeous. Welcome back to the channel, or if this is your very first time here, welcome. I am so glad you found us. I need you to sit down for this one because today we are talking about something that nobody wants to tell you to your face at the salon. We are talking about the haircuts that are quietly aging women over 60 by 5, 10, sometimes 15 years, and most of us are walking around with one of these cuts right now and have no idea. Here's the thing nobody says out loud. A bad haircut after 60 doesn't just look not great. It can wash you out, it can shrink your face, it can make thinning hair look even thinner, and it can completely erase the elegance you've worked your whole life to earn. Meanwhile, the right cut? It can take 10 years off your face without a single needle, without a single product, without spending a fortune. So today, I'm walking you through the haircuts that stylists see over and over on women in their 60s, 70s, and beyond. Cuts that seem safe, seem classic, seem age-appropriate, but are actually doing you no favors at all. And for every single one, I'm going to give you the flattering alternative so you leave this video not just knowing what to avoid, but exactly what to ask for instead. Before we dive in, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button and the little bell so you don't miss our style guides every week. And if you've ever walked out of a salon and thought, this isn't quite me, comment below and tell me which haircut mistake you've made, because I promise you, we have all been there. I certainly have. Alright, let's get into it. Grab your coffee, get comfortable, because we have a lot of ground to cover. Mistake number 1. The severe, overprocessed M.O.M. bob. Let's start with the one I see the most, walking down the street, in the grocery store, everywhere. It's what I call the severe helmet bob, that stiff, blunt, chin-length bob that's been sprayed within an inch of its life so that it doesn't move a single millimeter. Now, I understand the appeal. It feels tidy. It feels low maintenance. It feels put together. But here's the problem. A stiff, helmet-like bob does two very unflattering things to a woman over 60. First, it creates a hard, straight line right at the jaw, and as we age, the jawline is naturally one of the areas where we lose some definition. A perfectly straight, blunt line draws the eye directly to that area and actually emphasizes any softness there, rather than camouflaging it. Second, because it's so stiff and structured, it reads as dated rather than elegant. It's the haircut equivalent of a shoulder pad. It was fabulous in its era, but it stopped moving with the times, literally and figuratively. So, what should you ask for instead? A soft, layered bob with movement. I'm talking about layers that start around the cheekbone, some gentle face-framing pieces, and absolutely no hairspray crunch finish. You want your hair to move when you turn your head. Movement reads as youthful. Stillness, ironically, reads as older. Ask your stylist specifically for a bob with internal layers and soft, textured ends, not a blunt cut. And if you love the shorter length, a jaw-skimming bob with a slight angle, longer in the front, is far more forgiving than one uniform, ruler straight line. Mistake number 2. The too short, overcropped pixie. Now let's talk about the opposite extreme, the extremely short, cropped close to the head pixie that so many women are told is the easy, chic choice after 60. I want to be very clear here. A pixie cut can be absolutely stunning on a woman over 60. Judi Dench, Jamie Lee Curtis. These women prove a short cut can be glamorous at any age. The problem isn't short hair. The problem is when a pixie is cut too close, with no volume left on top, no texture, and hair pressed flat against the scalp. Here's why that specific version doesn't work for most of us. As we age, our face shape naturally shifts a little, and many of us lose some volume and definition through the cheeks and jaw. A haircut that's cropped tight to the head, with nothing happening on top, removes the one thing that could be balancing that out: height and volume at the crown. Without it, the eye goes straight to the lower half of the face, and the whole look can feel a little severe or even masculine, rather than soft and feminine. The fix? Ask for a textured pixie with volume at the crown. This means the sides and back can absolutely stay short and neat. That part is genuinely low maintenance and gorgeous, but you want length and texture left on top, styled up and slightly forward, almost like a soft, tousled quiff. This single adjustment adds visual height, softens a whole face, and instantly makes a pixie look intentional and chic rather than severe. Also, and this is a detail most women skip, Ask for the sideburns and the hair right in front of the ear to be left slightly longer and softer. A super short, squared-off sideburn area is one of the most aging details in a pixie cut, and it's almost never necessary. Mistake number 3. Long, flat, underlayered hair past the shoulders. Now, this next one is a bit controversial, because I know some of you are going to say, but I love my long hair, and I refuse to cut it just because of my age. And honestly, good for you. You should absolutely keep your hair as long as you want. But I need to be honest with you about the version of long hair that isn't working. The mistake isn't length. The mistake is long, one length, flat hair with no layers, especially when it's thinning even slightly at the ends, which, if we're honest, happens to most of us to some degree after 60. When hair is left completely uncut and unlayered for years, the ends naturally get thinner and wispier over time, simply through wear, breakage, and split ends. So what you end up with is thick hair up top and scraggly, thin-looking ends at the bottom. That combination, more than almost anything else, can age the whole look because thin, stringy ends read as tired and undernourished, even if the rest of your hair is perfectly healthy. The other issue with long, flat hair is that it pulls the whole face downward. Gravity is already doing that job for us, ladies. We don't need our hairstyle helping it along. So here's what actually works if you love long hair. Long layers cut in, starting around the collarbone, with the ends given a nice blunt reshape every 8 to 10 weeks even if you're not cutting the overall length. This keeps the ends looking dense and healthy rather than wispy. Second, add face framing layers around the front. This lifts the whole look and draws the eye up toward your eyes and cheekbones instead of down toward your chin. And third, if you truly want to keep every inch of length, at minimum get what stylists call a dusting, trimming just the very ends, every couple of months. Long hair after 60 is absolutely gorgeous. It just needs a little more intentional maintenance than it did at 30. Mistake number 4. The set and sprayed tight curl perm. Alright, this next one is going to bring back some memories, and maybe some of you are currently rocking this style, so I say this with all the love in the world. The tight, uniform curl perm, the kind that looks the exact same in every single section, very round, very salon on a Tuesday, is one of the most dating haircuts a woman can have after 60. I understand exactly why this style exists and persists. It genuinely is convenient. You wash it, you scrunch it, you're done. But here's the honest truth. A uniform, tight perm often reads as a specific decade rather than as personal style. It can also add unwanted width to the face because tight curls all over tend to expand outward evenly, adding bulk right around the cheeks and jaw, exactly where many of us want a little less visual weight, not more. The modern alternative that gives you the same low-maintenance benefit is a loose, textured wave, sometimes called a beach perm or digital perm depending on your salon, where the curl pattern is looser, larger, and varies in size throughout the head rather than being perfectly uniform. Ask your stylist for larger rods, especially through the mid-lengths and ends, with the roots left looser. This creates movement and volume without the tight, rounded silhouette. It photographs better, it moves more naturally in the wind, and honestly, it just looks more expensive, like you stepped out of a salon in Paris rather than got a home perm kit result. And if you're not ready to commit to a perm at all, the same effect can be achieved with a good round brush blowout or a curling wand on a slightly larger barrel. You get the volume and softness without any chemical processing at all. Mistake number 5. Severe, unblended bangs. Bangs can be an absolute game changer after 60. They can soften a forehead, hide fine lines, and take years off instantly. But there is one version of bangs that consistently backfires, and that's the thick, blunt, ruler-straight bang cut in one severe line straight across the forehead. The reason this doesn't work as well after 60 is similar to the bob issue we talked about earlier. A hard, straight line anywhere on the face draws attention to itself rather than blending with your features. Blunt bangs can also make the eyes look smaller and can emphasize forehead lines by creating a stark contrast between the smooth, solid bang and the skin just below it. What works beautifully instead is what stylists call curtain bangs or soft, side-swept bangs, bangs that are longest at the outer corners of the eyebrows and gradually get a bit shorter toward the center, parted slightly, and swept to both sides. This style does everything a full blunt bang does, softens the forehead, draws attention to the eyes, but without the harsh line. It also grows out far more gracefully, which matters because, let's be honest, we don't always make it back to the salon exactly on schedule. One more tip here. Ask your stylist to keep the bangs slightly longer than you think you want. Bangs that are cut too short can age a face faster than almost any other single haircut decision because they expose the entire forehead at once with nothing to soften the transition. Mistake number 6. Skipping layers around the face entirely. This last one isn't a specific haircut so much as a specific mistake that shows up across almost every style we've talked about today. Cutting hair, whether short, medium, or long, with absolutely no face framing layers at all. Face framing layers are, without exaggeration, one of the single most flattering things you can request at any length, at any age, but especially after 60. Here's why. These layers create soft movement right around your cheekbones and jaw, the exact areas that benefit most from a little visual softness as we get older. Without them, hair just sort of hangs there as a solid mass, doing nothing to work with your bone structure. The fix is simple, and you can literally use this exact phrase at your next appointment. Can we add some soft face framing layers starting around my cheekbones? That's it. That one request can transform almost any haircut on this list from aging to flattering, almost instantly. The 2 questions to ask before any haircut. Before we wrap up, I want to give you a genuine gift. 2 questions to ask your stylist before you ever sit in that chair again, because these 2 questions alone will help you avoid every mistake we just talked about. Question 1. What haircut will give me the most movement and volume at the crown? This single question steers you away from flat, helmet-like styles and towards something with lift and life. Question 2. Where should the layers frame my face, based on my bone structure? This forces a real conversation about your face specifically, rather than your stylist defaulting to whatever safe, generic cut they give every client over 60. I promise you, asking these 2 questions changes the entire conversation in that salon chair. You stop being a woman of a certain age getting a haircut, and you start being a woman with a specific, personal style plan. And one last thing, bring photos. Not just one photo, bring 2 or 3 from different angles, showing the front, the side, and ideally the back of the cut you like. Stylists are not mind readers, and the single biggest reason women leave salons disappointed isn't a bad stylist. It's a miscommunication that a few good photos could have prevented entirely. So let's recap quickly because I know some of you like to take notes. Avoid the stiff, oversprayed helmet bob. Go soft and layered instead. Avoid the too tight, no volume pixie. Ask for texture and height at the crown. Avoid long, flat, unlayered ends. Add long layers and regular dusting. Avoid the uniform tight perm. Go looser and larger with your curl pattern. Avoid severe blunt bangs. Soften them into a curtain style. And whatever you do, don't skip face framing layers, no matter what length you choose. Now I want to hear from you. In the comments, tell me, which one of these haircuts have you had, and how did switching styles change things for you? Or, if you're currently trying to decide on your next cut, tell me your hair length and your biggest hair frustration, and I promise you, I read every single comment, and I will do my very best to help. If this video helped you, do me a favor and give it a like. It genuinely helps this channel reach more women just like you who are looking for real, honest style advice for this incredible chapter of life. And if you haven't already, subscribe and turn on notifications, because next week we're covering the colors that are secretly aging you after 60, and trust me, you do not want to miss that one. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. You deserve to feel confident, elegant, and completely yourself at every single age. I'll see you in the next video. Take care of yourselves, beautiful.